Good evening, Bridgeport. It is 7:39. Thanks for coming out. This is our April 14th meeting. We are called to order. Please rise and pledge the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Matt, roll call, please.
Councilmember Schenk.
Here.
Councilmember Hauk.
Here.
Vice President Gundrum.
Here.
President Al-Zayed.
Here.
Councilmember Nolan.
Here.
Councilmember Gamble.
Here.
Councilmember Cosenza.
Here.
Mayor Heil.
Here.
Thank you.
Madam President, I note for the record, we were in executive session from approximately 6:45 to approximately 7:40 with regard to personnel as well as land acquisition.
Thank you, Mr. Bello. Hope everyone is enjoying our wonderful weather these days. We've got to take a lot of walks and really enjoyed everyone planting some flowers. I encourage everyone to enjoy that and maybe get into some gardening. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been enjoying lately, and hope everyone does the same. First up here for council consideration, we have authorization to send a letter requesting assistance with FEMA use modification approval to Governor Shapiro, Senator Fetterman, and Senator McCormick.
Do you want some context on that?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll make the motion as long as there's no other conversation. Happy to.
We have a motion, Mr. Schenk. Keith's going to give us, do we have a second? Then we can
thought maybe.
for discussion. Yeah, second from Ms. Cosenza. Then Keith is going to give us a couple of points to consider.
Just thank you, members of council. Just for some context, as council and much of the public is aware, excuse me, after the emergency disaster that was created by the Hurricane Ida flooding, the opportunity presented itself through the FEMA Hazard Mitigation Grant Program to acquire multiple properties in and around the most flood-affected portions of the borough, namely Front, 2nd, and 3rd Street, that general vicinity. As part of the HMGP, the Hazard Mitigation Program, those properties must remain a permanently preserved open space. However, there are certain caveats that you can redevelop them and it can still be considered a permanently preserved open space. That is what the borough is seeking to do, namely creating in some, not all of them, either parks or parking lots using porous paving. But in order to do that, you need to get permission from FEMA, and you need to submit what's called a FEMA use modification approval application. Due to the funding cuts that have been exacted upon FEMA, as of this past fall, as of October, per our contacts at FEMA, there is simply nobody at the Philadelphia regional office at FEMA that is even reviewing these use modification applications at this time. So this letter that we are ultimately going to be sending out to Governor Shapiro, Senator Fetterman, Senator McCormick, is imploring them to hopefully do what they can to help not only Bridgeport, but any other municipality that's in the same boat as Bridgeport, to try to implore the federal government to inject some of that capital and revenue back into funding, back into FEMA, to get the staffing on hand needed to start matriculating these FEMA use modification applications through again, because as council knows, we were lucky enough to be awarded several very large grants to fund the Front Street Pocket Park project, which ultimately will be developed on one of these hazard mitigation parcels that we acquired. And ultimately we'll be looking to acquire or to find grant money and other sources of funding to develop other HMGP parcels we've acquired. But without getting that obligatory approval from FEMA, we run the risk of those grants, deadlines passing and not being able to take advantage of that grant money in time to reap the benefits and develop those. So it's really just a plea for help from our higher elected officials here in Pennsylvania to hopefully do what they can to get some money back into FEMA.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. We can send that letter. All right, next up for council consideration, we have Resolution 2026-30, authorizing execution of design proposal from GFT Inc. for the Borough, for the Bridgeport Spur Trail project for $99,890. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion, Ms. Halk.
A second.
Second, Ms. Nolan. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public?
I will note that we received 2 proposals for this project. One from Michael Baker Incorporated, one from Gannett Fleming. Michael Baker came in substantially higher than GFT's did. In fact, double and then some. And we, for everybody's edification and reminding the public, the design costs for the Spur Trail project were budgeted into our 2026 capital budget for this year.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Do you have any additional questions or comments? Do you have any direction about the trail, or is it something that any council will be able to deliberate on in terms of the design itself? I'm sure Ms. Gamble would have some good feedback to share with everyone, at the least.
I mean, I would say by and large this is a relatively straightforward project. It's a multi-year process because we're dealing with FEMA on the brain, PennDOT regulations. So it's a multi-year process, and there will certainly be opportunities to review and opine on it as we go along.
Great. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. All right, next up for council consideration here, we have ordinance 2026-01 authorizing the incurrence of non-intellectual debt pursuant to the issue of a general obligation note 2026 series for $2,025,000. Do we have a motion?
Make the motion.
Motion, Ms. Nolan. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Gundrum. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public?
I guess I'll just say we did talk about this during a finance meeting, our last finance meeting, and it's just a great opportunity to get a good piece of borough history, historical building, and the interest rates as they were when we discussed. It's all solid, good numbers.
Thank you, Ms. Nolan. Any additional questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, the motion carries. Thank you. Next up for council consideration, we have Resolution 2631, authorizing purchase of property located on West 2nd Street, tax map parcel number 020005412004 for $2 million, former site of Bridgeport train station.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion from Ms. Gundrum, second from Ms. Hauk. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public?
I will note that, as Councilwoman Nolan mentioned, this has been discussed publicly. This acquisition, for which the aforementioned borrowing ordinance was just adopted, of the former Bridgeport train station, has been discussed publicly, not only during Finance Committee meetings, but during the budget development process in late 2025. $2 million was earmarked in the capital budget to acquire this property. We are fortunate to have been able to land precisely on that figure for a final purchase price. And I believe, I certainly don't want to speak for council, but this is an exciting opportunity, redevelopment opportunity to not only preserve one of the few truly historic properties and sites in the municipality from an architectural standpoint, but to create a really valuable community amenity for the people of Bridgeport.
Yeah, I agree, and I definitely want to thank, our council and mayor and the staff, obviously, first and foremost, and our partners, and kind of thinking in this direction and being innovative in this way, and just purchasing a piece of history that we can preserve and further beautify and kind of create some new spaces for Bridgeport to enjoy for free, hopefully. Additional parking also, just to think about that. It's something that's constantly on our minds as our businesses grow around town. We're being very intentional about that, and this is kind of one step of many that we've made this year and last year and continuing to make in the future. So thank you, Keith, for kind of leading us in this, Mr. Chairman. And I'm also very excited about this. Does anyone have any additional questions or comments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried. Thank you. Very exciting. All right, next up for council consideration, we have authorization to hire Gail Jones as part-time financial administrator.
Make the motion.
Second.
Motion, Ms. Hauk, second from Mr. Schenk. Do you have any questions or comments from council or the public? As I understand it, she has a wonderful resume and great background and brings a lot of experience to Bridgeport, so I'm personally excited to have her here. Is there any additional questions or comments?
I just heard the same thing.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, the authorization to hire Gail Jones passes. Thank you. All right, so we're coming to our second section of the council meeting today. As you know, our first meetings of the month are work sessions. We implemented this year to increase transparency and discussion and hopefully kind of bring some opportunities for the public and council to discuss certain items that will be on the agendas in the future. That we feel are very important to discuss and worth kind of hashing out a little bit more, and just wanted to increase the ability to discuss those things with us. I've personally really enjoyed them. I know I've heard some council members as well that have enjoyed this new style, so hopefully, individuals are welcome to come to this and can chat with us more. Today for our review, we're going to be discussing amending Chapter 331 of Bridgeport Borough Code, license permits, and general business regulations. We have some specific items that we'd like to go through. Thank you to Mr. Truman for kind of picking this one out to discuss, as I think it's very important. One of the things that I've personally found that would be really interesting for anyone listening online, if you'd like to share around, this kind of focuses on local businesses. We have lots of different implications here that would kind of come of some of these items, including just being able to bring our local businesses together, help support them more, understanding some of their needs. And I think that would kind of come of some of the items that we're going to discuss. But I can allow for the session to kind of begin here, and then we can go into details as we need. Mr. Chairman's lawyers.
Sure thing. Thank you, President Alzayed. To your point, and thank you for the lead-in, the primary focus, and in members of council, in your packets, you will find a draft amended ordinance, or ordinance that amends Chapter 331. And the primary focus of this amendment is to include language that codifies the annual business license and implements that for any and all businesses that conduct business within the borough. Any and all meaning whether you are a brick and mortar or you are a home-based business. For many years, there is, and for those listening at home, you may say, or business owners, like, you've had a business license in place for years. Yes, that's the case, and it does reflect on our fee schedule. However, adding this language is really more about formally codifying the license program, the licensure procedure, setting filing, reporting, and display timelines and standards, more specifically delineating who should or would and would not receive it, or who could and could not be exempt. For instance, there is a language in this draft chapter that would create exemptions from the fee for entities like nonprofits, public agencies, utilities, obviously smaller things like, kids' lemonade stands, we would not be actively pursuing. If you are a landlord, that is technically a commercial venture. However, that is already covered under our rental inspection program and our annual dwelling license fee. So we would not require landlords to obtain a second license from the borough. If you are a contractor that is doing work in the borough, you already have to obtain an annual contractor license. So we would not require contractors to, particularly contractors that live or operate outside of borough jurisdiction but are doing work in the borough. You're already pulling a business permit and an annual contractor license. They would be exempt. So too, if you are a contractor operating within the borough and performing work in the borough, again, you're paying a contractor license, you're pulling a building permit. This is not an attempt to, this is not a revenue grab, as is hopefully indicated by the fact that this is only a $35 a year annual fee. It's really more an opportunity to better track, monitor, and not even regulate, but track, monitor, and collate and coordinate our business list and better strengthen our relationship with our businesses. So really, that's the synopsis of the entire gist or impetus behind this proposed amended ordinance. It is currently on the borough website for any business or any resident that wishes to review it. It is hopefully we'll be submitting this for advertisement in the near future. Staff would love to hear suggestion on. Would love to hear suggestion from council if they have any other questions or feedback on it. But yeah, again, the primary impetus or push behind this is to just frankly codify the annual business license process that we have already had been operating.
How many do we have on the books as of now? How many business licenses do we issue in the borough annually, roughly?
I don't have that number readily available, but I'm happy to obtain it and report back, Councilmember Shank.
One question I had is defining what a business is from the perspective of just the type of business. I know there's contractors that are freelance technically. I guess these would not fall into this based off my understanding, but then you do have different kinds of LLCs. Is there, can we strengthen the language a bit by just defining the kind of organization that it would be so that people would understand it clearly from that perspective? Because we're in a tech world and a lot of people work from home and there's a lot of that happening. So I guess just understanding specifically how people are filing and how that applies to them here. Although I don't think it, them on its minimal, and hopefully this helps people, doesn't hurt them in sense of connecting everyone. But just, I feel like I was confused by reading it, and I just want to make sure no one else is if they.
Sure, and to be clear, as we're discussing it this evening, I mean, it would be quite literally any form of business.
Whether I-99 technically a business then?
Yeah, if you're a 1099 contractor, you're your own employer, technically speaking.
Okay,
so yes, that would be. And yes, we can add language that better specifies and clarifies that. With the home-based businesses and the independent contractors. Is this ever going to be a perfect science where we capture all of them? Absolutely not. There's plenty that are going to fly under the radar that we'll never have knowledge of. But conversely, there are a lot of home-based businesses that actually approach us annually and ask us for a business license because it helps them and it's a requirement in obtaining the insurance the insurance policies and other licensure that they need to formalize their personal business.
No, I'm in agreement there. I just feel like if we're going to have a fine for it, then we should probably define it really well for ourselves. That's kind of where I'm going with it.
Absolutely. And again, that fine it's standard fair language that we've lifted from other other civil and code-based violations and penalties in Borough Code.
Hi, question over here. Is there a way to find out how many LLCs are registered in the Borough of Bridgeport? Like, is that like public information? Like, is that any way that, because again, like people that are flying under the radar, that's not really the problem, but it would be nice to know how many active businesses there were in Bridgeport.
Well, I mean, LLCs only, I mean, as you know, being a businesswoman, that doesn't cover all of the varying, could be an LLP or other variation of corporation or partnership. But yes, there are ways to get a better handle on it. I don't know if it's ever going to be 100%, but get a much better handle on it through, IRS databases, things like that.
I just personally know that in the event that we were able to have that information, then maybe more people don't realize that you have to do this every single year. Like I get an update from like the health department every year. They send me a letter that says, hey, it's time for you to pay this because you need this. Like if we could implement that, because as a business owner, I forget things. If it's not physically in my hands, if I'm not looking at it, it's completely off of my plate. And I know that it would be a huge help for other business owners if they, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like, again, we're all human and they're all busy, but at the same time, having that information would also be really cool to see how many people are making a business for themselves in the borough.
Agreed. And to your point, this is the first step in going down that route and sending those annual letters.
Well, I can tell you right now, I already appreciate the effort because
Yeah, I think the kind of information we gather would be important. I agree, and one of the thoughts that I was having is like, we need to make sure we get their emails, obviously their addresses and things like that, just so that, as time goes on, that there's multiple methods of supporting them that way.
Contact list.
I mean, even having that list could benefit down the road, like as we have borough-wide events and stuff like that, we can offer the opportunity for all of our local businesses to come out to these events, and you only get kind of put on that list when you pay for your business license. Incentive to all you business owners out there, pay your business license, and maybe you'll get some cool out of it.
And then how do we plan on, I guess, getting the word out outside of the newspaper and social? Is there like other plans to doing it? Do we have like a plan to put this in our email list and sending it around? Are we going to be talking about it when we have events? Like, I just want to make sure, because I feel like this is a very specific, it's not like the public that's our regular residents. Like, I feel like it's a specific subgroup that we need to reach somehow.
I think it's going to be a combination of the same way, frankly, that we're going to roll out the trash code update. It's going to be a combination of not only reaching out to our pre-existing database of businesses that we have, but I guess a more of a grassroots campaign, for lack of a better term, in terms of education and outreach through our messaging on our website, messaging on social media, messaging through our newsletter.
Thank you. Is there any additional questions about the changes, or? All right. Oh, sorry.
If it pleases council, I'll take the feedback that everyone's given this evening and translate that into a second draft of this and bring it back for review at our next work session meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All right. We can move on from our work session here and move on to unfinished business. Are there any items of unfinished business this evening? All right. We can move on to committee reports. Do you have any committee reports? All right. We can move on to the mayor's report. Mayor?
Thank you, President Alzayed. I want to thank everybody who attended Founders Day a few weeks ago. We had a wonderful tribute to the Rambo and Rotundo families, thanks to the work of Maria Tansey, delicious chili cook-off, performances from the Upper Marion Middle School Jazz Band, and vendors from throughout our area. I want to thank our Founders Day Committee, including Beth Jaxier, John Gundrum, Michael Reed, Nicole Milburn, and Esther Cardone. One of my favorite parts was hearing about George Washington and the Revolutionary War from Ned Hector, who shared so many fascinating details about the people and our region. This past Saturday, I attended the Bridgeport Upper Merion Little League opening day ceremonies. Good luck to all of the teams and coaches and volunteers. There seems to be a great energy around the Little League this year. And thanks to all the many local businesses who are supporting the Little League, and I've seen 4th Street Cafe post about it often. I appreciate that. I want to send my congratulations to Bridgeport Elks Lodge 714 for marking their 125th anniversary. The Elks do great work for our community and are always volunteering at our many events. Congratulations to Roan for receiving a scholarship from the Elks, which was very well deserved because we see Roan at many events volunteering, and he's been doing exceptional work in school. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Victims of sexual assault very often are nervous or afraid to report these crimes. Our neighbors are afraid as well. Our chief and our police department, in collaboration with county departments and the district attorney, are here to protect you and maintain confidentiality to address sexual assault cases. If you or someone you care for, including a family member or neighbor, need resources, please reach out and we will help. And we're planning to do some more education in the summer, or early summer, about this as well. Continuing the efforts from past Mayor Jaxier to promote literacy, I've just finished on my 14th book so far in 2026. I encourage everyone in Bridgeport to put down your phones and pick up a book or try an audiobook. My favorite books so far this year are James by Percival Everett and The Power Broker by Robert Caro. You can send me your suggestions on social media or here, and I'd be happy to share what books you're reading in Bridgeport. Spring brings warmer weather, and I encourage you to keep your pets safe and clean up after them. We notice that, and to find the same people on social media, and our police and others will go on that. Also, lock your cars and be vigilant with car safety because people will be out later at night. This includes being aware of the new Paul Miller law to encourage you to put down your phone when driving so you can focus on the road. Also, I'd like to say that Montgomery County is hosting its first Youth Summit on Saturday, May 2nd from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Montgomery County Community College. You can RSVP online, and I can share the information on my social media page. It's montgomerycountypa.gov/youth summit. And that's my report.
Thank you, Mayor. Chief?
Good evening, Bridgeport. So first off, I want to say congratulations to Madam President for being the Elks Citizen of the Year. So congrats. Nice picture. So I saw him. Looks great. Good deal. Last night we had our second half of the police department for CPR and first aid recertification. Want to thank Plymouth Ambulance, specifically Mike Tusky and Tom Trajanski, the chief of the Plymouth Ambulance. They are here for the citizens of Bridgeport. They give excellent service, excellent response, and they are so very helpful to the police department. So we want to thank them, along with additional trainings, because I've talked with talking with the mayor. Just to give you an idea of the kind of training we give our officers. So we have an officer going to interview and interrogation school. That'll be next month, and one for something called an SFST wet lab. It's where we actually, or we don't, but the county does, actually gets people intoxicated so that they can actually know what level their BAC, their blood alcohol content level is, so that the officers who run tests, there's something really real to match test results with the testing process. So it's a very valuable tool, and we have one of our officers going to be going to that. There was just a report this morning about needles. There were some hypodermic needles that were found on the street on Ford Street by a crosswalk. So when we have those conversations with our children, and if you happen to see them, don't touch them, just call us. Either us or Public Works will come pick them up in a safe fashion. We'll put them in something called Sharps container, and then we'll get the Sharps container disposed of. There's people that have diabetes. It's a trash day. Could have been that or many other different things. But either way, do not touch those Sharps. Just if a child sees it, say something to an adult. Call the police, call us, and we'll just dispose of them. Anniversaries. Wanted to thank Officer John Sieber is his 12th anniversary. Officer Steve Bailey, his just passed, but thank Steve Bailey. Officer Bianchini, his third anniversary, and Officer John McKay, one of our part-time officers who's worked with us for 11 years part-time. So thanks for all that they do to make the police department what it is. You'll see more traffic enforcement. We've been, I was getting out there stopping vehicles. In fact, I enforced the Paul Miller law today. I stopped somebody on 4th Street. So you'll see some additional traffic. As we know, children are going to be getting out of school. People come out of their hibernation. We ask people to have conversations with their children now and themselves. When you see a stoplight and it goes to yellow, that doesn't mean speed up. Slow down at the stop signs or at the lights and pay attention at stop signs, because we're going to be out there and we will be active. Our full-time test for police officers will be May 16th at the Upper Merion Area Middle School. Please don't just show up there at the Upper Merion Middle School at May 16th. If you have an interest and you have an Act 120 certification and other credentials, please contact the police department. Completed applications are due on the Friday, the 8th of May. Most recently, we had last couple weeks a couple DUIs. With our additional training with our officers, we're doing more DUI enforcement. We also had a criminal mischief incident at the park with two probably 12-year-old white males that climbed a fence over at the bocce club, and we got a chance to watch them commit trespass. So we're investigating them. If anyone has any knowledge, I'm not posting the video, but if you ask around and you hear of children with white spray paint that want to use it in an unlawful fashion, please reach out to the police department. We'll be glad to take a look at that. And lastly, e-bikes and scooters. You'll see people driving electric scooters in traffic, which I think is extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. They're small wheels. There's no protection, and it's unlawful to ride those in the streets. It's supposed to be on like private ground. Now, is it used that way? No. Some people use it as a primary form of transportation now, so that's a problem. E-bikes. Anything over 750 watts is unlawful to use without it being registered. Like most things that get purchased or sold, people assume that if it's being sold, it can be used, and it can be used anywhere, and that's also incorrect. So on the county trail, you can't ride an e-bike that's over 750 watts. It's dangerous, and or if the pedals can't actually be used to propel the e-bike, it's probably not lawful. So just another conversation to have with your children, have with your friends. Please be cautious as you're driving. We're going to get very quickly into the times where children are going to be out and playing, and we want to be extra cautious. So thank you.
Thank you, Chief. I just have, we want to thank, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to add first, I forgot to mention, when you're on your bikes, please wear a helmet. But also, I know that President Alzayed and myself both texted you at like 8:15 this morning about the needles, and I think your officers were on it within 15 minutes, correct?
Yeah, thank you to the entire staff. I think Mr. Bellows who brought it to our attention, which is always looking out for Bridgeport day and night, despite him not saying anything most days. He's very active on that, and as soon as we got it, it was before I even was able to read the text, it was resolved. So thank you so much for your efforts there. I also want to kind of emphasize something that you always mention in terms of Facebook. I think a lot of people have included comments about that on Facebook and other places, which I think still do if you would like to, and that's your preferred method of contact. But if you really want something done quickly, definitely reach out to the police, reach out to the borough, reach out to even me specifically. I'm sure most council would also be open to hearing from you if there's something, but your best bet is to call the borough and get things resolved quickly. I know things like potholes have come up and and things like that. It's all getting resolved as soon as we see it, but the faster you reach out, the better. But yeah, thank you to you and your staff and your team for caring about Bridgeport and doing it fast and making sure that there's no sharps on the road. Wonderful. All right. Thank you, Chief. We can move on to new business. Are there any items of new business anyone would like to discuss? All right. We can move on to open forum and announcements. Do we have any announcements this evening?
I have an announcement. Actually, Mayor Heil brought it to mind. when you talk about the Bridgeport Little League, there is a beef and beer scheduled. So if you're looking for a way to support Bridgeport Little League, it's a great way to do it. It's Saturday, April 25th at 7 p.m. at the AOH Hall up on Jefferson Street. You can find the information on the Bridgeport Upper Merion Little League Facebook page or on the Bridgeport pages.
And I just wanted to say that this Saturday is our annual spring cleanup day. We will be meeting outside Borough Hall here at 10 a.m. And we will break off into groups and go about town, cleaning up everything. We have had over 30 people who registered, who signed up to participate on cleanup day, so I am looking forward to seeing everyone there. And just a reminder that we will be providing gloves, we will be providing trash bags, and lunch will be provided at noon as well. And I just checked my weather app on my phone, and it is going to be mostly sunny. And during that 2-hour time period, it's going to be mid-60s to low 70s. So everybody, please come out.
Thank you, Ms. Nolan.
I have something too. Just wanted to thank everyone who came out to the egg hunt. It was amazing. So many people showed up. The Easter Bunny came. I just wanted to thank the Borough Public Works because they made sure that everything was clean and great. Keith, thank you. And I look forward to building on that event more at Chiquino Field next year.
Yeah, the Elks are such great partners for our community, and even with very limited time, people showed up and showed out, and it was great. It was a really fun time, hoping to kind of grow that event as years come. Really excited to kind of be at Chiquino Field. I think that was my first event there since I've been around the last 4 years, so just really happy to see it.
Which is crazy because a lot of us grew up only going there. And
I've heard the
never was
stories.
there.
I was just really excited to be there. It's beautiful. Obviously well maintained, thanks to our staff and our team that do a good job. But yeah, I really enjoyed it as well, and hope to kind of continue to grow it. I know some businesses have shown some interest in helping collaborate, but the Elks have always just been a great group to work with, and they're here for the right reasons. And I'm just really excited to and honored to be working with them. Are there any additional announcements this evening? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Couple items. Number one, it's great. It's really great to hear so many different members of council with items during announcements and new business. It's just a personal observation. I like that. Secondly, spring has sprung, and Bridgeport Borough is pleased to announce that it is that time of year again for all outbound high school seniors looking to matriculate on to some sort of secondary degree. It is time for applications to the 2026 Dr. Vincent Moralia Scholarship. This opportunity is available to all Bridgeport residents who have lived in Bridgeport for at least 2 years prior to April 1st, 2026, and who are seeking further education that will result in degree, diploma, or certificate. It's based on the evaluative criteria is extracurricular activities, involvement with the Bridgeport community, scholastic record, financial need, and character. The application information has already been forwarded on to Upper Merion High School's guidance counselor department, so they are hopefully, as they do every year, informing Bridgeport graduating seniors of this opportunity. The submission deadline is Thursday, May 7th. Applications will then be collected by Borough staff. We will put them into our anonymous maker machine, our anonymity machine, and then submit them on to the scholarship committee for review. And then on our first meeting of May 12th, the scholarship committee will make a recommendation, and ultimately council will select a winner. So exciting stuff. It is annually a $2,000 award. Members of council forego a portion of their annual, what is already a very modest annual stipend that they receive for performing this service. Historically, our solicitor and our engineers have also made a contribution towards this, and it's a really great and important and valuable tradition. And I encourage any student that is, and it doesn't just have to be a high school senior. That is traditionally the majority of who applies. But you know, if you're a non-traditional student that's applying to community college, or you're a night school or something like that, it's, you know, non-traditionals are welcome as well. So that's that. And my second item is, some of you may have noticed over the last 3 or 4 weeks, there have been 3 utility cuts on 4th Street. One directly in front of Wawa on 4th Street, one between Butch's Central Service Station and the laundromat, and then one on Ford Street, basically behind Dino's, just off of 4th Street. These are PICO-related utility cuts that had sunken greatly over the last. The final restoration was performed, but the trenches sunk nonetheless. Henkels and McCoy started today and will be out here potentially between now and Thursday. We don't want to rush them. They were already restored once, and they've sunk. So let's let them get it right and not have them have to come back again. So potentially between today and Thursday, out here restoring those 3 pits, and hopefully we don't have to see them back out here. And this time is the charm. So, you know, they were causing some concern there for a couple weeks, and we finally got PICO to get the contractor out here to address those. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just lastly, for announcements here, you know, something that we've been working on for many years, and just kind of highlighting another great partnership that we have is with Growing Bridgeport Together. Our summer markets are back, and this year with a little bit of a different twist. I definitely want to highlight what we have going. So instead of having the other Sunday of the month, roughly over the summertime, we have chose to the Growing Bridgeport Together has chosen to have some highlighted days that make kind of a lot of sense to me, and I'm really excited to partner with them on some of these items, including some other council members here. We have May 10th, the Mother's Day Tea Party Market with Junebug Sweet Treats, where it will be in Rotunda River Park, which I think is really nice. It's beautiful out there right now. Expect lots of free activities for the kids, and we want to increase the number of times and our ability to increase the number of things to do for free in Bridgeport. So this is a free space that you can come enjoy. There will be a market there that you can obviously purchase things from, but there will be lots of kids' activities, so we will be posting about that. The next one is Sunday, June 7th. We have Frosty Falls Day, which is just one of my favorite days in Bridgeport. It's a market. All of these days are all very well attended. There's a market associated with them and kids' activities as well. I'm sure Laura will have plenty of free treats and fun things.
It's actually our free water ice day.
There you
And
go.
technically, it is a Borough holiday.
It sure is.
It is. I think it's something for everybody from Bridgeport should come and celebrate with us.
Definitely. Another day to mark on your calendars is Sunday, the 21st of June, which is Father's Day and School's Out Party and Market. Again, that's kind of a time to celebrate the end of school, and there will be plenty of things to do there. Again, look on our social media pages for some more details, and we'll remind you as time comes. July 25th is Frosty Falls Christmas in July Market, which is also a very fun time. And then in August, on the 22nd, we have 2nd Street Block Party and Back to School. So last year we began kind of doing a back-to-school event, which I think was very successful and really great. This is just a fun way to meet neighbors, but also we provided over 300 backpacks thanks to a couple of different partners, including Mr. Tim Briggs, that donated some money towards that, and our Limoncello partners here in Bridgeport with Sal and his team, and they came out and helped, as well as Natalie's new vending and restaurant that's opening in June's, which is called Neighborly's. So just very thankful to all the businesses that came along to our very quick turnaround. We had that idea about a week and a half before, I think, or 2 weeks before it came along, realizing that there were no backpack giveaways in Bridgeport, and we partnered with a couple of businesses, actually including Dr. Ray's office. Phoenix, yes, I'm sorry, I can't think. Phoenix Therapy, that had free haircuts, free backpacks, free supplies, and just want to thank all of our partners for that. And that's on August 22nd. So again, it's May 10th, June 7th, June 21st, July 25th, and August 22nd. We will continue to remind you of these dates, but just wanted to kind of put those on your calendar to look forward to.
I just want to say, too, that the block party is for 5 years after Ida. So that is the whole, thing with.
Very excited for that. All right. Any other announcements this evening? We can move on to public comment. Are there any members of the public wish to comment? All right.
I'd like to ask specifically about the parks, each of the parks. What's going on, any updates that are available relative to funding or design, et cetera?
Right.
As it was left, I don't know that that's necessarily public comment, but as it was left off, I believe council was creating an ad hoc committee to move forward with design, discussing design, and bringing a designer in to begin working on Memorial Park. Obviously, we're
Oh, so it was for Memorial Park? I thought it was just for.
We're at no, it was
Park.
for it was supposed. It should be, as far as I understood it.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood that.
For both Memorial and the Front Street Pocket Park project.
Okay, so we can get that moving quick then. Is that what you're asking?
Both Memorial Park and the one down here. Just wondering how that's advancing and if there's anything that needs to be done from me or anyone else.
I think we can, I didn't realize Memorial was a part of that. I thought we had some time for the Park at Park, which is why it wasn't like immediate, so I misunderstood. So,
You're correct. We are absolutely at a standstill for.
yeah, so I thought we had some time on that.
But
Okay. So if we were also
we can
able
move forward on
to,
Memorial, yeah.
okay, we can form that quick and see what members of council want to discuss and, yeah, as far as schedules are concerned.
Sounds
whatever
great.
schedules are.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up. All right, we can certainly entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
All right. Do you have a second?
Second.
It is 8:26 and we are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.